Hello and welcome everyone to the very first episode of Podcast with Zen and Zara. I'm Zara, your classic introvert, the one who finds peace in quiet corners, prefers long pauses over long speeches, and sometimes needs 3 hours to emotionally recover from a 10 minutes phone call.
And I am Jen, your certified chatterbox. I am basically a voice that never ends, and I talk while I think, I talk when I'm nervous, and I talk because silence makes me itchy. Some says I talk too much. I say I talk just enough to make the room feels alive.
Well, if you say so. But this podcast, it's not just a platform for Zen to keep talking. It's about us and you, all of us. Because being human is complicated and messy and sometimes just plain weird. So each week we are diving into the strange and familiar corners of human behavior, sometimes insightful, sometimes hilarious, often personal, and what better way to kick off our very first episode than by looking directly at one of the loudest, most present human traits. Can you guess, Zen?
Talkative?
Yeah, you are right. Talkativeness. People who just talk and then talk some more. The ones who interrupt, go on tangents, get passionately loud about oatmeal, and somehow turn good morning into a 10-minute TED talk.
Which is basically me, and I accept that. But the question is, why do some people talk so much? Is it just personality, or is it an emotional need, a form of dominance? Is it actually a kind of connection?
And even more importantly, what is it like being around them? Whether you are a fellow talker or someone like me who quietly counts down the seconds until the story ends, this episode is going to hit home.
Yeah, we will cover the highs, the lows, and the socially awkward moments, the hilarious interruptions, and the oversharing relatives, and those vocally ambitious co-workers who thinks every meeting is their stage.
Yeah, vocally ambitious. We are going to share so many other terms related to talkativeness with our audience. So plug in your headphones, lower your voice, and let's talk about the people who can't stop talking. This is Podcast with Zen and Zara and episode 1. We are not psychologists, not scientists. We just want to discuss about storytellers, conversational hijackers who treat pauses like personal insult, fill the room not with furniture but with words. You already know whom we are talking about: talkative people, chatterbox, eloquence, loudmouth. Let's dive into the chaotic world of talkative people. This episode is not just a roast, it's a reflection about talkative people, how talkative people hide their deepest silences, and sometimes they can turn a high into a 30-minute monologue.
You ever meet someone who starts with, I just wanted to say something real quick, and then an hour later, you're still standing there?
Oh, yes, that's not a sentence, it's a trap. I once worked with a guy. He was what I call vocally ambitious.
What? Vocally ambitious? What does it mean?
He could take a how was your weekend and turn it into a TED talk. He didn't talk to people, he talked at them. Not mean spirited, just obsessed with stories, with being heard, maybe even afraid of being forgotten.
So, he filled the air with himself.
Exactly, studies show about 5% of people are classified as high verbal output individuals.
To be blunt, we can say they never shut up.
Yeah, correct. But they are often expressive, emotionally open, and let's be honest, hilarious if you can keep up.
This is what gets me. You're telling a story, you're mid sentence, and boom, someone jumps in with, "Oh my god, that reminds me of."
Story hijacking, it's real. And listen, sometimes they are not being rude, they are just excited. It's a form of connection, but yeah, it feels like verbal WWE.
WWE. Do you watch matches? No. But we can say it can be a tag team matches. No one actually watching, just waiting to talk.
Yeah, you are right. The University of Chicago found that in group conversations, talkative people take up to 70% more time than they think.
So they think they are being generous.
But they're just dominating the airwaves. And the irony, talkative people hate being interrupted.
Yeah, that's rich coming from you.
I know, right? Pot meet kettle.
By kettle I mean I just want a cup of coffee. Do you also want?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe we can drink something later. Let's continue with our podcast. Okay, let's go a bit deeper. Do you think some talkative people are masking something?
Absolutely. I knew a woman. She always had a story. One night in under an hour, she talked through 5 failed relationships. No breath, just go.
Wow, 5 failed relationships. That's a lot. And did anyone ask?
No. Later, when we were alone, she said, if I stop talking, the silence feels too heavy.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, her words were armor, a way to stay in control, avoid silence, maybe even avoid herself. Research links over talking to social anxiety, ADHD, and trauma.
Oh, so it's not about confidence, it's about protection, right?
Exactly. The louder some people are, the more scared they might be underneath.
Alright, let's lighten it up. Talkative people can be sometimes entertaining also.
Yeah, let's lighten up. Zen, you can have your coffee now.
Yeah, thanks for the coffee. Next time I want pizza as well. Bill will be on you.
Yeah, definitely. Don't worry. Let's not get diverted from our topic. The comedians without a stage. I had a roommate who narrated everything. He once gave a 10-minute play by play of me trying to open a jam jar.
Tell me you recorded it.
Sadly, no, but he titled it The Battle of Raspberry Ridge. I was crying from laughter, you know?
So you agree that you were having fun.
Yeah, definitely. That was the upside. 72% of people say talkative friends make social events more fun. They fill awkward silences, create memories, build inside jokes in minutes. But they also talk over the credits and the plot and the dialogue.
Yeah, you are guilty again. Not all chatter is charming though.
Nope. Some people weaponize words. Ever talk to someone and leave more confused than before?
Oh, definitely. It's like a verbal fog. Like you walk in with clarity and walk out wondering what just happened.
That's when over talking becomes control. Some people dominate conversations so on one else gets a say, or they bury the truth in a flood of words. That's when you need boundaries. Interrupt, redirect, ask, can I speak now? Because being loud doesn't mean being right. It means you have to ask your turn to speak, basically. Just being persistent.
Yeah, just being persistent isn't a good thing sometimes when having conversation with friends. And do you think is there a science behind all of this? Like talkative people?
Yeah, there is. The FOXP2 gene is linked to language skills. people with certain variations tend to be more verbal. So we can blame the genes, I think, and plus upbringing, because you know that nature and nurture both play a vital role in our personality, and you can say kind of nature we have in a later part of our life. If you grow up in a family where storytelling was encouraged, you become a dinner table performer, and extroverts get dopamine from socializing, right?
Yeah, we can talk about dopamine. I heard that term somewhere. Yeah, I remember. That's what news channel feeds us nowadays. They run stories that are trendy and people keep on watching. That's what shorts do in YouTube also. People keep on browsing. It fills basically their dopamine.
Hmm. Exactly. Nowadays, these terms are, you can say, very popular. Extroverts, introverts. Extroverts average 60,000 words per day. Introverts around 8,000, according to a study. Do you know?
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a lot of words. I can speak more than 16,000 words, I think.
Wow, yeah, that's why you are a chatterbox too. So, talkative people don't just talk, they exist through talking.
Yeah, you're right. So you take away their voice and they feel invisible. That's what we feel sometimes. Yeah. So, what have we learned from all this discussion?
Well, talkative people aren't just loud, they are layered, sometimes brilliant, sometimes annoying, often funny, always human. They talk when they're happy, when they're scared, when they want to connect, when they want to disappear. And yeah, they'll drive you nuts, but they'll also make you laugh when you least expect it. Tell you stories you didn't know you needed, remind you that silence isn't the only way to be still. So, whether you are a talkative one or you love one, just remember everyone has something to say, but not everyone feels heard. And sometimes the best thing we can do is listen, even if it's for a whole. Thanks for tuning in to podcast with Zen and Zara. I'll see you next time with fewer words, probably, maybe. Okay, no promises. Thank you, everyone. Like and subscribe for more. Thank you.